welcome to Jessica. I'm your host, Jessica Rector. Today we're talking about the sixth sense. Some of us are not in tune with it, and some of us are really in tune with it. We're talking about intuition today. Please welcome my guest, Van Doren. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Jessica.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining me. And before we get started, I would like to tell everybody a little bit more about your background and about when you first started noticing your intuition.
Great. When I first started with my intuition, I was about 10 years old, and I remember my father mentioning to me or asking me, what would you like to be when you grow up? I said a psychologist, and he said, well, why? And I said, because I'd like to help people. He says, well, you're going to have to go to school for a long time.
Right.
And I was okay with that, but I wanted to be a kid at the time,
right.
at 10. So when 12 years old came around, I was in chorus in school, and my mother, she decided she was going to make me an outfit for chorus. We had to do a performance for a convalescent hospital, and the outfit she sewed was a gypsy outfit because that's what I requested. And I thought, wow, this is great. I'll be able to share my outfit and perform in front of elderly.
Right.
And with that performance, it turned out great. When I was about 12 years old, it led into a gathering of friends wanting to get together to do a carnival and help out muscular dystrophy. And we got together, we went into a friend's house, and we built a carnival. Well, my booth was a fortune teller. I thought, wow, what a great concept. Well, I used my gypsy outfit.
Well, did you know at the time that that's what you were in tune with, is your intuition, or you were just kind of being a kid and that's what interested you?
I was just being a kid. My father, my background was from a religious background.
Right.
My father being a minister, he ministered in church, and I don't remember, I was about 5 years old, and with that, it led into other things. I didn't know anything. I felt maybe I was shut down with that intuition part, only because I just went with the flow of things.
So you didn't have really any way to describe it or put a word on this, what it was?
Not at all.
To you, this was just normal, like
it was
every
just, yes,
kid thing?
Just normal, just go with it. And I didn't know when I was 12 that I may have been using it, but I didn't have the support, the background, the knowledge, the facts, education on...
So how did you get all that stuff? Did you ever get support?
Life experience. My experiences through my challenges, my downfalls. I just began to pick up on things and have visions and see things and know things, and I didn't know where it was coming from.
I think that's what's so interesting in people who are not in tune with their intuition don't understand is how it works, how the process works. Is it a process? Is it something that just comes to you sporadically? What it exactly entails? Is there any way to actually describe what it entails?
We are all born with it. It's a gift from God, and we need to develop it. And in time, through experience, through challenges, through your journey,
right,
it begins to develop on its own. Let me just go back to the definition of intuition.
Okay. In
the Oxford English Dictionary, the meaning of intuition is the quick knowing of truth, the perception of truth without conscious and knowing. That's the definition. It's the knowledge within. So for the most part, many of us won't know that we have this, but I'll tell you, when you are out, that gut feeling that you have.
I was just going to say, is it like a gut feeling?
It's a gut feeling. It's being somewhere when you know you shouldn't be there, having a good feeling on another area in life and going with it. And then finally realizing, wow, I made the best decision. That's part of using that part of your mind that we don't use. It's like a muscle.
Right.
You begin to develop it.
So why is it that some people are really in tune with it and some people aren't? Is it because they ignore it?
We get caught up in our daily life. We get caught up with our troubles,
Right.
our goals, and we lose focus on our conscious mind. So intuition is your mind, your body, and your soul. You have to balance all those three areas so that you can work yourself and tune into yourself.
So if you're not working, if they're out of balance or out of sync, then what's the result of that? You're not hearing your intuition, or it's not working?
It's working, but you're not in tune with it as well as much. For example, let me say that in your workout, you're working with your body, you're exercising your muscles, you're toning, you're working on your carb, your diet. That's all part of your body.
Right.
But your mind is your intelligence. We have to balance our mind with the intelligence, our body with our instinct, it's that gut feeling, and our soul is that intuition.
So how are we supposed to balance it? What ways can we go through to balance it?
We have leaders, we have guidance through church, we have facilitators, we have institutions that will help us develop those areas. That's how you can...
But you can't develop, can you develop them on your own? Do you have to go to a leader or someone else to do it?
Not necessarily. However, you may come across people that are facilitators. You can develop it on your own, but it's how willing are you to do that?
And do you have the experience or the skills necessary to actually know that you're developing it on your own? Because I could think that I'm developing it and I'm not really doing anything.
A lot of your results will come through your results, your facts. You're coming across things like, I knew that was going to happen, and it happens. That's a fact there for yourself. That's how we can develop it on our own.
So what's the difference between, when people hear the word psychic or the term psychic, what's the difference between your intuition and being psychic?
Psychic, the definition of psychic is tuning into the soul, tuning into your spirit, tuning into other realms, other levels. Psychic is also, in society, it could be where it's a negative, a negative area. So it's just where you fit in.
So how did you, besides after you were 14 and you were being a gypsy and having these booths, what was the next step in your life that you really finally paid attention to your intuition, or that you knew that you had it?
I would have to say that in my down times of life is where I started to get that gut feeling where I had to make major decisions, whether it was through divorce or it was through these major challenges, health, or whatever it may have been. I began to see things, feel things, and just know things, and I started going with them. And I took the step, the risk, and it was a positive, willing result. And it just led to open more doors and more areas, and I just said, God, please help me get through this. If this is coming from God, which it is, because this is what we're born with, that's how what I followed. So I give the credit to God in all this.
It's interesting because you say everybody has it, but the only time that I really hear about, pay attention to your gut feeling and all that is if something bad happens and you didn't pay attention to it. I don't ever hear, oh, pay attention to your gut, and then if nothing happens,